Welcome to Feisty Chess. I'm up against d5. Sorry, d4. We're going to go knight f6. And we've got the Trompowsky. Okay. I know knight e4 is good here, but I'm going to go with something simpler with e6. Let's tickle that bishop. He wants to play e5. Okay, I'm going to give us a bishop pair. It's got the big center for the time being. Well, the queen probably just needs to go home, right? She's not really comfortable on g6. Queen g6, bishop d3, f5. Nah. Queen can go home. We'll get d5 in, and we'll get a French with the bishop pair and a little bit less congestion. So yeah, let's get d5. We'll play c5 next, and if he takes, we're happy to take back with the bishop. Helps us develop. En passant, take with the bishop. Okay, here comes c5. So this is very Frenchish. White did get rid of his somewhat inferior bishop in the French. We'll just put our pieces where they make sense. We're not in a hurry to castle, especially since he's got this bishop on d3, but actually with h6 in, he shouldn't have any attacks. This is a useful move. I'll play queen b6 at some point, but it's not really a threat until I play this move. And in the meantime, I like my queen watching over this diagonal, so his knight doesn't have anywhere. I guess it's not a big deal. Okay, I think queen b6 makes a lot of sense now. And we're actually threatening to take a couple times, and he can't go knight b3 because I've got this fork. All right. This is a win for us in the center. And we get our last piece developed, last minor piece. We've got wide options, wide choices where to castle. We like our dark square bishop a lot. So we're going to swing it back to e7. Only spot that makes sense, really. Maybe g5, just kind of threatening g4. And if he plays h3, I can just go... yeah, I'm comfortable with my king in the center here. This is a pretty committal move, g5. I'm also looking at... what is that, a5? But then he can just come knight here, and he's fine. The knight kind of wants to come there anyway. And I don't want to go pawn grabbing on b2. I like this plan here. Not sure I want to take in the center yet. Ah, that is a committal move. Other options, I've got castle on either side. Kind of spoiled for choice here. I'm going to castle queenside. I'll put my king over on b1, b8, and then maybe get my queen's rook over to c8. I think the king is a lot safer here. The pieces are all over here, and this pawn isn't an attacker on the queen side. I can play a cramping role, help hindering my defense on the king side if I need it. If I need to defend, that is. Okay, but we want to get our king safe and then generally try to open the position. So f6 might be a good idea. But he's got this bishop that can land on g6. So maybe g5 and then f6, depending on what happens. These are some ideas. Probably our next move is going to be king b8. He could go c4 right now, actually. But I would be happy to take. I don't think c4 is very good right now. I'd be happy to take, open up this file with my rook and his queen on it. Chambel 2. C. Hamble, maybe? Who knows? Okay. That knight doesn't... Well, he wants me to take on b2. I suppose I should consider it. I'm hitting c3 as well. But that... Things look pretty solid over here, but it can't be very good to do that. I just can't believe it. Get my king a little safer. If he takes my knight, I think I'll take with the pawn, which gives me more control of the center. Well, I don't know. He can go b4. Got three options there. I take with the bishop, pawn, or queen. I think I'll go for pawn. Nope. All right, he's coming right at me here. Now, I've got this covered right now with my knight. We are castled on opposite sides, so I suppose it's time to let the race begin. Do you want to come here now and then get a knight to c4? I should get going with my plan. Any kinds of action over here is going to benefit white. It just complicates and opens up the king side. So here we go. He'll need to trade my knight if he wants to push a5. Do I have tactics here? Do I have like knight takes? Probably not. Probably not. There's a5 lines. All right. Queen here, and then he's got knight to b5. All right, I'll take. He needs to take with his knight. And maybe a6 shuts some things down. I don't really have f6 anymore, unfortunately. h5. Okay, I'm going to go h5. I'm expecting this. I'll have to play queen c7. And then if knight comes in, though, I can take, bishop takes, and then I can take here. Possibly. I don't have to, but I have an option. Okay, so he defends things over there. Let's make him defend it again. Okay, rook's on his half-open file. He's got a major weakness on c3 here. He can't use this rook or his e-pawn falls. And this rook kind of wants to be on the a file, I think, attacking against the king. So if he swings this rook over, okay. This just lets me trade off into an ending where I'm a pawn up, right? What am I missing? Knight c6 check, I just take with the queen or the rook. But this is what I'm missing. Take, and then I can't just willy-nilly trade queens because he's got this intermediate check in. Gets a rook. And I can't even win a piece by coming back there. But I can take now, but that commits me to... Well, it doesn't commit me to anything, does it? There's also just b6, keeping the pressure on c3. Okay, let's look at the critical line here. Take on c3, take here, and then king takes b7. Can he do anything with his queen? There's no checks. He's got this check. Okay. Well, how about take and then just rook up? I'll certainly get that pawn back, won't I? Okay, rook c7 looks like the way to go here. He can't. He's got to trade queens. Rook c7. Try to hang on with bishop a6. For that's an idea. Yeah, I'll just defend here. And then, yeah, everything should work out. Everything should work out. If he takes, I retake with a rook. And then knight comes here. I've just got rook here. And he might win this pawn, but I'll win here, and I should be grabbing on b7. Yeah, I like this. I like this. Yeah, he needs to do this. Now the knight comes in. Do I want to give up the c-file? Maybe I don't. I think the rook wants to come here, staying on the c-file. Oh, what am I worried about, really? Rook here. No, it's better on the c file. He can't hang on to that pawn, can he? Yeah, it watches c6. There could be forks on c6. So yeah, once we traded the queens off, my king being on the queen side allowed me another attacker that allows me to clean up on the queen side instead of a weakness. Now that we're in an ending. Yeah, the other option was to go rook b3, but okay, now I'll happily force trades. d6 is covered. So it's looking like heading towards a pawn up ending. I should say it's a good thing I have some experience in the French. I'll get there when we get there. He's got a take on. Oh, I guess he doesn't. Okay, he's threatening mate. Need to either take the knight or the rook. If I take the knight, that's not. Yeah, I'll just simplify here. He's going to take with the knight, but then here I take with the bishop, and I'm guarding that forking square. I seem to be guarding everything. I'm just up a pawn. Let's just bring the king up. Gets out of these checking ideas. Can I just bring the king up again? Let's do that. The knight's not real happy here. Now where does the knight go? Yeah, I have to move here. I suppose rook could come here, but I'll just play c5 with my king. I'm playing with 3 pieces. He's playing with 2. 2 that are kind of cornered. He's either got knight b1 or rook b1. Neither one looks great. I am concerned that I'm going to miss something here. I got a little bit of time issue. The 5-second increment should help. But I really like this position. His knight's cornered. My king looks good. And now my rook comes to the, well, if the knight, If I want to totally dominate the knight, ooh, I just deliver this check. Yeah, this. I've got bishop c3 coming. I don't really need bishop c3 though. Bishop c3. It'll win me e5. That's probably good enough. I have to avoid b5 with my king. Let's just come here with the king. Maybe the king comes to d4 next. Yeah, we'll take. Getting low on time. Maybe I should have just gone for that e5 pawn earlier with bishop c3. My king wants to come to e3, not e4. Not e4, or I'll be losing my rook. Looks good. Yeah, let's go here. I'm going to win on f4. Doing this the hard way, and I've got to get moving here. We'll take that. And I guess we can just start marching with this f-pawn. Bishop c3 is an idea now as well. Although he's got rook a3. Yeah, let's go. Let's deliver that check. I'm not sure this is the right way to do it, but so be it. Oh, he doesn't come this way. Let's clean out some pawns. Dominate that knight. We can get that one too. You know what? Let's just shut the knight out like that. We don't need to go for this pawn. We're just going to push this now. I don't think there's any way the knight can catch it. All right, we didn't convert this the most efficient or slickest possible way. Should be mate next move. Okay. Well, the mate was nice. Let's start from the beginning. Feels good to win again. Last couple of videos have been some tough losses. So knight f6 and then the Trompowsky. So this is not an opening I'm all that well prepared for, but it transposes into enough things that it doesn't seem like a threat. Maybe I'm not taking it seriously enough. So I think knight e4 is the main line. Yeah, most commonly played. e6, those are the two most common moves, and also d5. Anyway, I went for e6. Is this the master's database? Yeah. Okay. e4, h6, bishop takes. That's the main line. Is there something terribly wrong with bishop here? This must be good for black. Yeah, g5. Oh, right, and then you're just winning on e4. So white is committing to. I didn't even see all that, but white is committing to giving the bishop pair, and then e5. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, knight c3, e5. Yeah, queen d8, most common move. I didn't like queen g6 because the bishop comes here with tempo. Oh no, that's not true. You got to get knight f3 in first, and then the bishop will come with tempo. So let's say we make a move like this. Bishop here, and then that doesn't look like much fun for black to me. So g6 may have been playable, but the computer still likes just coming back better. Queen often just has to sit on d8, even if she ventures out. We'll just take our winnings here. We got the bishop pair. We've got equality apparently. So yeah, now that I've played d5, this is the most common move here. Look, black does really well in this position. f4 is the way to play this as white, looks like. Well, no, the computer likes knight f3. But now we're in French territory. And this gets very French. It's just like my knight's been traded off for that bishop. So if you play the French defense, all these moves make a lot of sense. You're just trying to put pressure on d4. Bishop d7 is another move to get out of any tactics with checks on b5. And to develop that bishop to the only place it can sensibly develop. And now queen b6. Actually, like c takes d4 first. C takes d4 first, and then queen b6. But then you've got knight b3. It looks like everything's held down. I guess the idea is a5, a4, knight b4. Okay. Sinking a delicious knight in there. If he wants to keep this bishop on this diagonal, he's got to go here and block the rook in. I liked the simpler idea of queen b6 here, and now knight b6 is not possible because of this fork. Okay, it wants c4 because I haven't castled yet. That may be the right thing to do. C takes d4, knight takes c4. Now why not this? Or maybe better that. Knight takes, c takes d5. I won't be able to hang on to that pawn forever. And I still need to get my king castled. So yeah, c4 is a nice active try for white there. This just, oh, queen takes b2 is better. Oh, right. Well, that gives up on my queen side here. Queen takes b2. I guess he doesn't have rook b1 immediately because I've got this. And these pawns can't last too long. This one's going to fall to the bishop. If he goes here, okay, taking on c3 is much better than taking on a2. Because we're hitting the bishop with tempo. So queen e2, now rook b8, and he can't hold this. Any? Queen a3. Ooh. Looks dicey for the queen there. I don't know if that's worth that pawn. Anyway, I got simpler with it. Took on c5. And if he had pushed b4 at this point, I might not have castled queenside because he's coming with the pawn. But he got his knight in front. And then that gave me the time, I think, to castle queenside. Actually, that was the right move. Castling queenside is what the computer likes. I wonder about castling kingside. Not the right move. So my instincts were right here. This e5 pawn makes it a lot less safe to castle on the queen side. Bishop c2 and then queen d3. He's got this simple battery idea. I've got to weaken. That's the only way to defend. I think that's the idea with bishop c2. Or, yeah, I got, before he plays queen d3, I need to play f5 now if I want to play it. He takes f6. Rook takes f6. Okay. Now queen d3. Ay. G6. This is not what I want to be playing. And that rook is just stuck on f6 now. So, okay. Castling queenside seemed a lot simpler. I should take d4 here. Because he needs to take... I should take with the knight. And then bishop c5. Oh. Queen c2 pins, sort of. And now knight f3. Okay, queen's got it guarded. Well, instead I just kept with my plan. Not a bad move. Now knight takes c6 is the best. It still wants me to take on d4. I push here. He pushes there. Now taking on d4 is the best, but yeah, g5 was not the move here. I should go ahead and take on d4. If he takes this way, now just a5. And this knight isn't participating over here on the queen side where it would like to be. So you want to take here. Now queen c7. I would think knight b5 would be really natural there, but we just take. Actually, take with the, yeah. This doesn't look that good for me. I don't like this open a file. But I guess the bishop comes and everything's okay. And that's a pretty effective bishop, both defensively and offensively. Look at that. Okay. You can't be with opposite colored bishops. People often just think of them as drawish endings. But the middle games with opposite colored bishops are spicy because there's no defending those opposite colored squares if you don't have that bishop, especially if the knights are off. Okay, back to the game. I push g5. The computer recommends queen e2, but now it sees the value in b4. Now I didn't like how cramped my queen was getting. It does like knight takes d4. I wonder about this. Okay, that's not so bad. Queen c7. I was worried about this kind of thing. Now I gotta come queen c8, and that doesn't look very comfortable. Doesn't look very good at all. He's got a6. Oh, but g takes f3. Oh, right. I'm hitting his knight. So I got rid of that knight, only for it to be replaced by the next. But that mostly cleared some space for me on the queen side. Now, okay, h4 is not terrible. h5 is not terrible. Queen c7 immediately is probably better. I was just waiting for a5. So he didn't have this option of recapturing with the pawn on a5 and opening up my a file. Okay, so it's looking good here. Let's see what the computer thinks as we go here. It likes bishop f1. Queen b3 is just as good. Now this gives me this counterplay on c3. And yeah, rook a to c1. You want to defend that. And the plan is maybe just b5, a6, or b6. So looks like black is a lot slower than white in the queenside attack in the attacks here. So I got to go a6. Wait, yeah, g4, a6, h4. Just ignore things. Really? A takes b7, and I guess I just king takes b7. I submit to this skewer. Oh no, that doesn't work. Rook's no longer on a1. Queen a3. Now we're threatening the skewer. Queen b6. Now doesn't this leave rook here? And a5. a5. Wow. I can't believe that's a draw. That does not look comfortable at all. So he went a5, a6, and now, yeah, queen takes c3. I wonder if this is still good for black. No. All right. Looks like we found the right move at the crossroads here. Yeah, and the key here is noticing this doesn't work because of that. And I can move the king, then he can... Well, he doesn't have to trade queens. He can just go straight for this. And now when I take back, it says even, because I got the two bishops at least, but I would not want to play this as black. Those bishops do look nice, I guess. And he's not going to get my a7 pawn, apparently. So maybe I'll clean up this pawn. I'll have two extra pawns. Maybe this is good for black. I do have an extra pawn already. Okay. So yeah, rook c7 is the only other move here, and the best one. And now he's got nothing better than just to trade queens. What about bishop a6? Yeah, we just take here. This pawn won't last too long, and this bishop has to babysit it if I want to try to hold it. In the meanwhile, maybe I play moves like f5. I don't know. How else to get this rook in the game? I guess I could play bishop c6, but okay, he went for this option. Yeah, rook d8. Now I'm playing with all my pieces. Oh, rook e to b1 was a better move. Just defending here. That makes sense. I can't come here or here to attack that knight just yet. But I can basically pick up this pawn on b7. So I will get the extra pawn. But he took... Yeah, rook c4. I wonder if rook b3 is that much worse. Significantly worse, apparently. Rook c4. Rook takes a7. Now it likes rook takes b4. Ah. That makes sense. I guess I was a little concerned about giving up the c file. Rook takes b5, and I'm fine here. It looks scary, but I can just take this rook, and this rook is now guarding the queening square. So the simpler option was what I took with time pressure, just taking here. Now he goes here. Simplify this way. If he takes with the rook, I mate him. So he's got to keep the rook on the first rank. And now I need to take with the bishop. King b7, huh? My move is just as good, and it makes more sense from a common sense standpoint. I've got this square check covered. I don't want to slip into this, and I fall into the fork of everything. Oh no, my everything. Okay, and now, yeah, he needs to bring that knight out. And my king just gets better and better here. His pieces just get worse and worse. I took way too long to find that check, that pinning idea. Now rook c2. I guess with the simple idea of bishop here, and he can't defend. But I like the pin idea better. I just have to be careful not to step on light squares here, or I will get discovered check. Actually, that wouldn't work, would it? Oh, I would have been fine on. I would have been fine on this light square, because knight a3 check. Well, it simplifies, and I don't want to go into a rook ending here with a pawn up. That's much harder to win. It's good to know these things in endings. So I come here with the king. Now, king e4 would have been fine. Actually, I might have just been able to win a piece that way, huh? King e4 and rook a7 is the best he has. Oh wait, king e4. Oh no, king e4 is fine because this check and my rook is guarded, and this check, my rook is cleared out of there. So king e3. Yeah, just f4. And I knew he had this fork idea. So I just traded here. And I'm surprised he didn't come in with a check. I guess there's no saving that pawn now. He's got a check, but he's not getting anywhere. So he goes for this, and I just eat up that pawn. Yeah. And the rest is pretty simple. Could have gone with a rook mate there. That would have been a little feistier. Maybe next time. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay feisty.